Hello, good afternoon, happy Thanksgiving, and this is part one of our encore presentation of Throwback Thursday movie reviews, DVD movie reviews, and we're our first part one of our first episode is we'll be reviewing Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, starring Tina Fey. So, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is based on the memoir, it's on the novel The Taliban Shuffle: Strange Days in Afghanistan and Pakistan by Kim Barker. Again, it's supposed to be the memoirs of this journalist named Kim Barker. But again, the movie is Tina Fey's character. Tina Fey plays Kim, and the last name is altered from Barker to Baker. So I guess at that point right there, so just at that point, the movie loses whatever respect it should have. You lose your respect for the movie in that regard. Next, so you have Tina Fey. She plays Kim. She works a desk job, like a producing job for this news network in New York. The Iraq War has broke out. It's 2003. The Iraq War has broke out. Afghanistan is pushed to the back burner, and the network needs people to go to Afghanistan. And yeah, Tina Fey, Kim, she is the first to volunteer. Don't you just love Hollywood cliches? And then next is she goes to Afghanistan. She's a fish out of water. She makes friends with Margaret Robbie, who's also this well-known war correspondent, and they make friends. You know, and then they talk about guys. They talk about fuck this guy, fuck that guy, and girly stuff. What the hell? And you know, um, Tina Fey is then next. She's in this. She's with traveling with this convoy, U.S. Marine convoy, led by Billy Bob Thornton, who apparently doesn't like her first. Who doesn't like her first, and then at the heat, and then a battle, a firefight ensues between the Marines and the Taliban insurgency, or whoever the heck you want to call them, and they attack the convoy. And Tina Fey comes with her little camcorder, jumps out the Humvee with helmet and bulletproof vest on, and just be recording shit, and be recording where the Marines take a bazooka and blow up a 1989 Toyota pickup truck with the Taliban insurgents. And out of that, yeah, she and I guess that's when Billy Bob Thornton's character, as the Marine colonel, he starts to respect her a little more. Um, um, then next, she meets up with Martin Freeman. He's this Scottish photojournalist. He's a bit of a womanizer, and after Tina Fey's boyfriend, played by Josh Charles, cheats on her, they end up developing a relationship. I gotta say, this movie, I kind of don't really like this movie. If it wasn't for Margaret Robbie being in this movie and being so damn hot, I would never bought it on DVD. And there you go. But this movie kind of it drags. It kind of drags. It doesn't get interesting until the part where Martin Freeman gets kidnapped by the Taliban, and Tina Fey and Margaret Robbie has a falling out, and that's given 70 minutes within the movie. That's given within 70 minutes within the movie. This movie doesn't know what it wants to become, whether it wants to be drama or comedy or both. It just go back for drama, comedy, drama. It's inconsistent. It doesn't know what it wants to be. I mean, overall, I mean, yeah, it doesn't get interesting till 70 minutes within the movie. You know, it doesn't have meaning till after 70 minutes when, you know, Tina Fey and Margaret Robbie have their falling out, and you know, Martin Freeman gets kidnapped. About the performances, I'm going to say Martin Freeman, he's the scene stealer. Same as Alfred Molina, he's the scene stealer as the newly appointed Attorney General of Afghanistan, and Billy Bob Thornton as the Marine Colonel, he's great in his role. Margaret Robbie was good in her role. Problem I had with performances was Tina Fey. It's like Tina Fey is like 60%, is like overall about over 70% of the time you kind of wondered like who else could have played her, who else could have played Kim. I'm thinking, me personally, I'm thinking like Charlize Theron. I'm like, I just don't think that Tina Fey's acting style suited this character and suited this movie. It's like, you know, for I think is that her name recognition and her celebrity just became is more of a distraction than a help. I for anyone who could have played her role better, I'm thinking along the lines of Charlize Theron, or Kate Beckinsale, or Julianne Moore, or Jennifer Lawrence. As much as I'm a little indifferent towards Jennifer Lawrence, I'm even thinking Kristen Stewart. I know some of you there's a few of you out there who hate Twilight, hate the Snow White movie, and want to cut my nuts off, but I don't care. That's just my view. I think even K-Stu would have done better with this movie. Well, hey, she did Camp X-Ray, which I will be reviewing in a month or two. And she's in Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, a war movie where it's really about, where it really focuses on the war and how we treat the soldiers. So there. I'm gonna say I'm even gonna say Scarlett Johansson. As much as some of you know me, I do not like Scarlett Johansson in the slightest, and never have, never will. And even her, I thought would have been better. What happened is this movie is that Afghanistan is just a plot device, and it's just a plot device, and it's just from the point of view of a overambitious, self-serving journalist. You know, they're just about the story. You know, getting the story. They don't give a shit. You know, I mean, the only part where they try to humanize Kim, and they give some humanity to one of the men in uniform who's been to Afghanistan, is where near the end of the movie she meets up with this Marine, Corporal Coughlin, who is like who's like one of the fighters, American troops who fought back in the Humvee attack, and she quoted him on something he said. He gets shipped off to the Helmand province and gets his legs blown off. And when Kim learns of it, she has guilty conscience. Meets him at his house. Being that after he's discharged, and she finally leaves Afghanistan, and like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm like, Corporal Coughlin, he's so pretty cool. And the actor who plays him, I don't know the actor's name, but the actor who plays him, it does a pretty good job too. He's like, "Oh, get over it. What happened happened," and and I'm like, that's not like the only strip. How Corporal Coughlin is like the only reminder of well, oh yeah, this is a war, and okay, see, we're showing some respect to the troops. It's like, No, I mean to me, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is just like one of those movies where where it's more about promoting the star of their movie. You know, a self promotion. It's more about self promotion than it is actual selling people a story. I don't know how this movie did at the box office back in March, nor do I fucking care. But that's just how I feel about Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. It's just, you know, it just becomes, Tina Fey selling Tina Fey, not Tina Fey selling a war movie. That's how I feel about it. I'm like I said briefly in my review of Billy Lynn's long halftime walk a few days ago. It's just Billy Lynn to me is the war movie that Whiskey Tango Foxtrot could have been, should have been, but wasn't because of, well, the narcissism of its star. So there. That's my review, and we're gonna, I'm going to get into part 2 of our encore presentation of Throwback Thursday movie reviews, and part 2 will be focusing on Deadpool. And you have a good one.